This is the trading review for Friday, the 10th of November 2023. I was looking at Nvidia today. We actually sold off yesterday from the highs at 482. We sold off all the way down to R4, and today we opened with bullish pivots. But after the rejection yesterday, I expected there to be a continuation of the sell-off. We've been running up quite a while, and it seems perhaps that the waters were changing, especially after we rejected R5 yesterday. So at least I was looking for a run to R5 today if we were to break out of R4. But we actually rejected nice within the first 10 minutes. We can see here that we were struggling. We formed a nice doji with high volume, and that's when I decided to pull the trigger. I added three shares to fix my sizing, but then I got stopped out just above R4, and the stock actually tried to run higher, and my stop loss was wrong, so I had to get out those 2 shares, but it's not a big deal. It's not a lot of money. So, and from here, we actually reversed nicely, but I didn't have a level set clearly here to make an entry except 479. And we actually reversed, and this trade is fine. And perhaps I should have waited for the 5 minutes to show some weakness. But this signal, even this candle as well, I almost got in again because this signal was just too strong for a reversal. Except this doji had less volume than before, and then we broke out to the top side, and we rejected, and then here we form a hammer, and this is where I want to explain a little bit. I put too much emphasis on the Camarilla pivots as my strategy for entry, which is wrong. That's what I used to do before, and it never worked out because I wasn't using volume price analysis. So this is wrong. If I get rid of the pivots, you can see that this is no way in hell an entry for a long. I mean, for a short, because of the hammer here. If anything, is a continuation of the price to the top side, and you can see that I got swiftly rejected here, and that's because I was. If you look also as my note, I made an entry on signal after my first entry. This was my plan pretty much, but I never planned for an entry long because I was not expecting it. I made it center on that signal, and then the price, the open was an open reject reverse when we reverse here, but we failed to push back through the open price, but that's something else. So I have made on my notes that we enter if we close below for a continuation down, but that's not how it works. That's not how my entries are supposed to work. I'm supposed to enter on a signal, and that signal is not just it closes or underneath the Camarilla pivot, because the pivots are more like areas. So a good signal will be if we close the candle inside the range, yesterday's range, or above or below the pre-market. Those are nice levels where a close at that obvious and universal level, then it is more meaningful, but not for the Camarilla pivots, and that's because my mind frame is not well, and I go back to my comfort zone, and that meant that I was making decisions based on a system that's ingrained in my brain that I used to use before, but not the BPA signal. And I'm going to show you what happens next. Of course, price stalls because my main goal, my main read of the stock is accurate. It's just my timing that is way off because I'm not emotionally capable of uh, executing my trades and or planning them correctly. So you can see here, this is the entry. We have this resistance area that we return to. We struggle a bit. We form a nice hammer, albeit no volume, but we also didn't have volume pushing up. So we have to search for new buyers. And at the close of this candle, this is where you have a nice risk to reward. Entry at 476.80 or 476.75 with a stop loss at 477.25 and partial 2 to 1, 3 to 1. Uh, this will be, yeah, this will be pretty much 3 to 1. And then maybe get stop loss here. But you can see we react swiftly to the bottom. And we defend the open price rigorously. You can see these are strong signals for a buy and implying a where is um, implying a return to R4 and breakout higher. And you can see on this hammer here, this is the entry. So for an entry short, this hammer is long, which is replicated here. And this is where I make my entry long. And this hammer here is for an entry short. So that's where I messed up. This entry wasn't so bad, but the second one definitely was a failed trade. And you can see that the stock run tremendously to the top side for a $3 full move. So with 50-cent stop loss, that will be 6-hour move. We return and we'll get stopped out at break even if I don't run out of shares, and then again trading outside the R4 boundary. So let's see here. So an R4 reversal is E-trade, which I don't really do much of those. We did 2 E-trades. The first one, it was executed, but the book was bullish and resulting in a loss of minus 1.5. Let's see, 1.2. And this one was not executed. So none of this matters. I don't like how I'm starting this data set. Yes, no, plus minus 1.2. No, this is not it. And then this one. I use Camarilla pivots as an entry strategy, but not PPA. And then that's pretty much it. I was desperate to make up losses. So Okay, so I use Camarilla pivots, and as for daily today, do we respect rules? No. This is a struggle. Emotionally, yeah, 5, Connecticut State 5. Connecticut State stands um, for my ability to think through the strategies, not the emotional state, but the way I'm thinking about the trading, and my ability to recognize patterns, behaviors, and all that. So I had a good pre-market, and this is the I have to find 3 good things I did for the day. I had a good pre-market. I respected my stop losses and stopped completely after max loss. So I did not hit my goal today. 50%. Took 2 trades, which is respecting my max loss, and 0, 2, and minus 2.8. Let's see. It's 2.4 actually. So the spread is not helping us with our loss control, but because we're trading a bigger size, that means the slippage is more of an issue. And that's it for my trade review. It's a bit longer because I have to explain the situation, but I'm giving myself a little bit more of room for error for these misjudgments, because this is the first time I increase risk size. So it's new territory, and I have to get a better handle of my emotions here. Trading forward, and it's obvious what my mistake is. I'm not using BPA. I'm just falling back on old habits, bad habits that are an over reliance on the Camarilla pivots, and lack of use of BPA. And today I did better. As you can see on my watch list, I wrote down notes. Yesterday's notes were pretty empty, but I did a much better job today. So little improvements. I need to get used to handling much more size. But that's it for today.